thought I'd do this live because I've been catching up with, Memory Hold, Mouthy Buddha, some of their documentaries and that. And also, Mouthy Buddha's one on Terramar, seeing as Ghislaine Maxwell's on trial at this moment in time. And it does seem as if the Terramar project was brought up, but then buried again. So I'm here to bring it up again. And basically, this is not just about Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah. The Terramar project was it was its own country. I know that sounds mad, yeah, but in her deposition, she was asked, "Are you a resident of the United States?" Yes. "Are you a resident of England?" Yes. "Are you a resident of any other country?" She replied, "Terramar." Yeah. And it wasn't just, but it was about owning. Now, on first glance, she looked like she cared about the ocean. Yeah. But it wasn't just about caring about the ocean. It was owning the oceans. Terramar project basically went into liquidation the moment that Jeffrey Epstein got arrested and got shoved to the side, didn't really get a mention. Which brings me on to her husband, Scott Borgerson. He is the founder of Cargo Metrics and former fellow in residence at Council of Foreign Relations. So a very powerful figure then. And he was the CEO of Maritime Transport. They specialise in the movement of people. They were especially interested in the Arctic Circle. Terramar was very interested in the Arctic Circle, and I am very interested in the Arctic Circle, to be quite honest with you, because there's something about the Arctic Circle that they're obsessed with, and it's. I mean, they was even giving you a temperature, doing the weather in the Arctic Circle, and the Terramar project. It just seems to have disappeared. But and that basically covers for the Arts and Embassies, and the Arts and Embassies program is how to traffic children legally, or people, but it's majority of it is children. And they even their slogan is, "We keep your cargo away from prying eyes." And that's at Scott Borgerson's company, the husband of Ghislaine Maxwell. Come on, people, you got to wake up. You've really got to wake up. And that brings me to another person I was talking about a year and a half ago, and her name was Nicole Junkermann. Now, you can imagine I'm going through memory holder, because obviously I've not been able to concentrate properly. I've not been able to get myself together. Not gonna lie, I'm absolutely gutted at losing my friend. It's fit. But today I thought, right, let me go through everything. Let me see what I've missed. And he's got a video up, very recent video, and it's got Nicole Junkermann. Now, when I covered Nicole Junkermann, right, she was the chaperone to Epstein. She was also a helicopter pilot, but she chaperoned Epstein wherever he went when he come to England. So I knew she was dodgy. Yeah, and I knew that she'd been named on the Panama Papers, whatever the hell that was, and the FIFA corruption, whatever the hell that was. Not too sure, but she was named on them papers. But oh my God, Memory Hold's given me a whole different. Nicole Junkermann, they knew she was an Israeli Mossad agent. and like, she was put down as an ex-model, turned, and also, very interesting fact, she flew on Epstein's flight log, like she was on his flight logs 8 times, but 3 times they was alone on the plane. And I put on the memory because I was thinking, oh my God, I mentioned her. She was on our NHS advisory board as well, and she was handpicked by Matt Hancock. So obviously, like, he knows stuff, I know stuff, and it because she's now like she's into infusing AI with humans, with art. It's fucking scary. Yeah, it is really scary. And she was in 2011. She was amongst the top, I think it was 10 investors in the world. That's 2011. She's much more powerful than what I gave her credit for. But yet, she, you know, she's not been mentioned in the mainstream. I wasn't aware that Memory Holds and that knew of her. So, whoa. It's, it's, but flying alone with Epstein, I'd like to have been a fly on the wall at that thing, because I don't think he was banging her. I don't think he was using her for sex. I think there was some serious shit going on there. And she's also linked to, I've never heard of it, but it's called Carbine 901. And he looked up the board of directors. It's got that something, you know, the who was prime minister of the Israeli Israel, but something Barak. He's on the he's on the company, and it's really scary, right? It is so fucking scary, yeah. But what I don't understand is how they've kept the fucking lid on Terramar, because Terramar it was in the mainstream, or whatever you want to call it. It was described as an opaque society or something like that, opaque, that doesn't give grants and doesn't do, but Epstein give her the money to fund Terramar. That's acknowledged, and it was disbanded literally 2 days after he got arrested. So it's because and also Ghislaine Maxwell's sisters. She's got two sisters, Isabel and. But they were involved. I mean, I'd never heard of it, but I've never been I haven't been online for long or whatever. But they funded a company called Magellan. I don't know if any of you know of Magellan, but what was the other one? Magellan, and that then turned into Excite. Sounds good now, doesn't it? In the scheme of things. But you know, they're all, and Ghislaine Maxwell was meant to have had a thingy on. She was on Reddit. It was like she was one of the big influencers on Reddit, which they really tried to keep a lid on as well. But it seems like it's over here. It's over here. The information is so much more suppressed. Yeah. And it's just ridiculous, because you know, she was as active over here as she was over there, and like, let's not forget her neighbour, Henrietta Conrad, yeah, who lived literally 3-4 doors away from her, yeah, top someone at Channel 4, yeah. And Brian's got a beef with a bird at Channel, Hayley Barlow. Henrietta Conrad, Hayley Barlow, they're both very powerful people at Channel 4. Yeah? And and that Henrietta Conrad, she was in Epstein's Black Book, and he had 5 entries for her. 5! And her landline was still up and running, and I phoned her, but that got taken down. I should put it back up again, actually, because there's a lot of things that I said quite a while ago, people that I mentioned, that are now coming to the forefront. And that Nicole Junkerman, mate, fucking hell, like, it's but when she looks like an ex-model. She really does look like an ex-model, but I don't understand how an ex-model can get that powerful. Up until in 2011, you're one of the most powerful women in the world. It's just like, that's just. But I know that she was definitely named in the Panama Papers and in the FIFA corruption. FIFA, I thought, was football, so it sounds like she did have a sports. One of her first companies that she invested in, it was to do with sports. I remember that. But that's just ridiculous. And this carbine, what was it called again? Carbine 901. Apparently that is just Israeli intelligence, basically. Blackmail, I would imagine, complete, like, just blackmail shit, really. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if I don't even know what's going on in this trial. It just seems that, like, they allow TV cameras into every court in America. There's not a court that they don't allow TV cameras into. And there's something dodgy going on there. There is something dodgy going on there, because all we're being told is what the news, or what we did, and I'm telling you now, nobody is going to go up against the Arts and Embassies. FAPE, it's called. It was changed in 2012 into FAPE, and that's FAPE. And it did. The list of members is just like a Pizzagate list. It's just ridiculous. And also, as well, not forgetting Terramar had 125 million donated by the Clintons. Now, what would the Clintons be donating 125 million, to just a hobby of Ghislaine's? There is such a bigger picture going on here, and it's just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But what's even worse is how badly we're suppressed. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I can't understand why no other podcaster, bar Brian, has not mentioned the Arts and Embassies programme. It's a fucking real programme. And Ghislaine Maxwell's husband owning Cargo Metrics, being on the Council of Foreign fucking Relations. Ain't that what's our equivalent over here? The Royal something. Prince Andrew's on that. Richard Branson. And I'm telling you that what Brian saw in that nightclub, right? I can't remember what date it was, but what Brian saw in that nightclub was Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, it was Prince Andrew. There's no other reason for their attack on him. What they've done to him. Yeah, it's just disgusting, because all he was a boy who got dragged into a scenario. He didn't even know what he was getting dragged into, and it's shaped, and it's literally like been at the forefront of his life since then. Not gonna lie, his manager, Tom Watkins, in my opinion, was the UK's version of Clive Davis. Yeah. Oh my God, as well. When there's so much about Brian you don't know. Like, we was talking the other day, and when he went to America, he had some guy telling him and his brother and his dad, I think it was, to go and have breakfast in the Windows to the World on 9/11. Now that might have been a coincidence, not gonna lie, that may have been a coincidence, but boy, I doubt that. Then when he said to me he was sitting next to Clive Davis, I was like, oh fucking hell, man, shit. But there's no doubt in my mind, yeah, it was Ghislaine Maxwell that he saw, and it was Prince Andrew that he saw. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever, because you know it's just. But this shit, this is. I mean, this is getting silly. It is getting silly. That you know that the evidence is there. But Nicole Junkerman, mate, I thought that because she was on our NHS advisory board, for fuck's sake. Handpicked by Matt Hancock, who, by the way, is in the pocket of the Guinness family, 120%. Yeah, he's just their little puppet. You know, and that brings me to Rachel Chandler. Still no mention of Rachel Chandler in the trial, though. I don't know whether that's lack of reporting, because Rachel Chandler, she was Epstein's #1 procurer. She run Midland Modelling Agency. She's got her fingers in so many, Washington Post. She's got her fingers in so mmany fucking things. It's ridiculous. And I believe that Ghislaine is they've either got a fucking clone of her to put her out, because I wouldn't even put that past them. Not gonna lie, it took them a year to catch her. She could have, you know, it's easy to do a clone. They can take your DNA. They can do anything. They can do everything and anything. I did put up earlier on Facebook a documentary by Mouthy Buddha, and it was on the cult of Moloch. And he quite rightly questioned it, and he's been on some deep dive, mate. He's been on some serious deep dive, and he was looking into the cult of Moloch. Is it true? Is it? And basically, because it comes up in the Old Testament. And it was a Canaanite rite that they did. And he's looked into it, and it's definitely real. And up comes Tammy Lazzato. Now, I don't know whether you like people, if you're aware of Tammy Lazzato, but Tammy Lazzato runs a blog called Evie's Crib. And also there was a leaked email. Now, she has 3 grandchildren, Maeve, Emerson, Ruby, Emerson and Maeve. That is her 3 grandchildren. And then you got Evie. Now, there was an email that was leaked from Tammy Lazzato, and it was to John Podesta. And she was talking about their trip to the farm. I quote, the email says, Ruby, Emerson and Maeve, 7, 9 and 11, will be Uber serviced, and they will be in that pool for sure for further entertainment. Now, I don't know how else you're meant to take that, right? But also as well, on Evie's crib, she goes to Jack's place and they're babies. And another one says, spend time with Evie, online, raw and uncut. Do it now or because in the future she'll have the power of life and death over you. She weren't joking. Yeah, because it turns out that Tammy Lazzato, her family go back to, what was it called, Tidings, and they've named their children after a guy. Oh, what was he? He was into black magic and everything, and Aleister Crowley, and their genealogy is very tied in with the Crowleys. And I'm not gonna watch the documentary because it a lot of us. I mean, I know Aleister Crowley was evil, yeah, but a lot of things have been left out. He's saying "do what thou will," like Jay-Z had on his fucking sweatshirt, but his teachings are disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And the spirit cooking that Marina Abramovich does comes from his Thelmalite or something like that, something thingy like that, and it's called the Cake of Life. And it says you mix semen in with breast milk and blood, and it's just vile. But one of his quotes is, "The perfect sacrifice is a boy of 5 years of age, high intelligence, makes the perfect sacrifice," basically. And there's a couple of other quotes that are in there that I can't remember now, but he basically was talking about the mother giving over a child of 2 years of age, and it was just vile, absolute vile. And do you know what? Anyone who follows his practices is vile, and I don't care what anyone's got to say about that, because it's just disgusting. Yeah, but what's even, this Ghislaine Maxwell trial is a fucking joke, an absolute, complete and utter joke. She's obviously going to be sacrificed, I mean, like I said, she could have a clone, and that is not me having a tinfoil hat on. Yeah, cloning is real. You had Clonaid in Canada, yeah. So it's not like it's not. And let's face it, her husband is but he's also the CEI of Maritime Transport, which specialises in the movement of people. All it done was got a little mention in the early thingies of the trial, yeah. But hopefully, I'm hoping that other people will pick up on it. How about you, Sean Atwood? How about you start talking about the Arts and Embassies programme? Like that's going to happen. And also, as well, it just brings me back to the canals. And it just disgusts me that we have no CCTV on our canals. I mean, come on. It's been said by quite a few people that paedophiles use the canals, John Wedger being one of them. Yeah. It's and they don't mind in that, but then they don't put CCTV. What the fuck is that about? Yeah, what the fuck is that about? It's and I mean, you can fit quite a few children on one of them barge boats, and that's not including what's going on underneath. But them canal system that they all link. You can get from London to Birmingham on the Grand Union Canal. And it really upsets me. It really does, because it's getting beyond a joke now. It is getting absolutely beyond a joke. And you know what? My next live, I'm going to have looked into everything a little bit deeper, yeah. And it's like I could not believe it when I saw Memory Hold's new video, Nicole Junkermann. I was like, what the fuck? She's not a good person at all. Absolutely not a good person at all. Knowing that she was Israeli intelligence, they put her on our NHS board of directors. Well, that's nothing to worry about then, is it? Yeah, and she was the Epstein associate that no one speaks about, apart from Memory Hold and me so far. I'm sure there are other people that have picked up on it, because Memory Hold said Nicole Junkermann's her name's been floating around for quite a while. But fuck me, she's got so many companies, right? It's just, it's beyond ridiculous. But they're pushing for this this transhumanism, and you need to listen to this video, because boy, Memory Hold, as always, covers everything, yeah, everything. And this video is really good. The Matthew Buddha one, Into the Cult of Moloch, it was really interesting. But I have posted it up on Facebook. But that goes into the Masons as well. Because, and like he says, not every Freemason is on the surface just like a man's club, where you get to where you're going to get to make deals, or it's going to further you. I mean, come on, if you're a young guy, you're going to join the Masons because it makes you feel special, I suppose. I don't know, but I don't believe that all of them are. But that's just on the surface, and then you've got your layers and your layers and your layers and your layers and your layers. I mean, they say that the highest masonry is 33. There's probably another fucking one that no one even knows about. But I think at the 33 degree Mason, you're pretty initiated into it, I would imagine. I can't imagine what someone higher than a 33 degree Mason would be into. That it's just it just defies belief. But it's just it's and like I said to a lot of people, it's going to further their career. They're going to make a couple of deals that they're going to make money on. They're going to but they don't know. They don't know what goes on amongst, in the back rooms or wherever they go. Because I'm not going to lie, the Freemason lodges, there's never no, when you think of a gentleman's club, you think of it's just all a load of rubbish, really, if you ask me. They're fucking stupid rituals and their symbols and but to me, it's just... But I can understand, someone young, yeah, you want come to the lodge, come to the Mason, and you meet lots of like-minded people that can help you with your career or a decision, and they're going to join, and they do, but they're just the cover. They're just the cover, because one thing I know after doing this for a long time now, well, a year and a half. Compared to Brian, that's only a fucking little glitch. But I feel like I've been doing it a long time. Freemasons are behind everything. Yeah, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, they all roll into fucking one. Yeah, and the Jesuits, that's another podcast all in itself. But no, tonight I wanted to concentrate on the arts and embassies. I wanted to concentrate on her husband, Scott Borgerson, how he owns, Cargo Metrics, and his mantra is, we keep your cargo away from prying eyes. Make of that what you will. Yeah, because the arts and embassies, they don't go through normal channels. Yeah, they go through diplomatic. They have diplomatic status, which means that they are not examined by normal customs officers. They have their I think they're called TAPs or something like that. And they just deal with these containers that have a state seal on it, I suppose. You can fill up a container full of children and no one would ever know. It's really sad. It really is sad. But I just thought I'd do this little rant because I was gobsmacked when I saw Nicole Junkerman on Memory. Gobsmacked me, but I really was talking about her over a year ago, and I think I've mentioned her periodically since as someone who should be, but I didn't know how powerful she was, and it's fucking scary, and I just want to say that there are times, when you put this to the back of your mind. Yeah, you try and get some normality back in your life, and then you start questioning yourself. Yeah, saying it can't be this bad. It can't be. My mind plays tricks on me. My mindset. It is as bad. It's even worse than what you think is bad. It's so much worse. It is so much worse. And it's only in it's mainly in the elites. Because even these sacrifices to Moloch, it was always practiced by the elites. This is in the realms of Clintons, Podestas. And Hillary Clinton, don't think that she ain't got her claws over here, mate. We've got an Hillary Clinton School of Law in Wales, and when you put it in, it comes up a picture of her standing there in all her glory with all the stuff. So she's heavily invested in Wales. And it's how them fuckers have escaped jail is beyond me. How have they stayed out of jail? I mean, they might be washed up, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be publicly tried. Like the Clinton body count. I mean, come on. It's that these people are disgusting. Yeah, they are so disgusting, and the Rodhams, I think they come out of, I think they were in the family of Hess, that was the military German side of the family, but that's another whole new different podcast. I'm getting off subject now, so I'm gonna go, and I shall see you